Hi. Hi.
Hi.
We're back.
Hi.
James Dean is chilling with us right now.
Cool.
I know. Anyways, so this video is going to be our response to the Rose Symposium that happened a couple weeks ago.
Specifically to Brian's video posting.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he
posts the whole thing.
posts the whole thing.
Right.
So the entire conference. Anyways, I personally thought it was really interesting that the Rose family decided to take this moment to actually make a statement, and I thought it was a pretty powerful one. Nothing new, really, from what we'd heard, but...
Well, I mean, yes and no. Ah, James.
Anyways.
Okay. First of all, I thought it was really interesting when she started comparing, one of the women started comparing the rose to the Kaddish, and I know we've talked about that in class, but I think it made the whole museum experience very different for me. That you think about museum as a space of memorial, and we've talked about that a lot in this class, but not in such an abstract way. That it's always been, a very tangible, this is the purpose of this, is to memorialize and remember someone. And
instead of sort of like the undertone, I guess. So like if you could think about it, I can look back on all the exhibitions I've been at the Rose and try to find the undertone of this sort of memorial.
These people,
yeah.
Right. And also now digging around in the archives a little bit for our exhibition and learning a little bit about what the Rose was in the beginning and what Edward and Bertha wanted it to be. And now looking back and seeing how some of the exhibitions that I've seen have reflected that has been really powerful. And I think that she's right that every time you look at a piece and you connect to it, you're connecting to everyone who's looked at it before, to the artist who made it, and to the person who made it possible for you to see it, which I think is a really powerful experience. I also personally was surprised at how emotional everyone got. Like, all the panelists, someone like Stephen Greenblatt, who was I guess I think of him as very academic and very kind of removed, almost.
And art historians and that whole concept of the art historian has this very removed kind of stigma to it anyways, because it's part of this elitist kind of group of gatekeepers in the museum. So anthropologists have the reputation of being more emotional, being more connected to the people and to whatever they are studying, whereas art historians have this kind of institutional academic way about
you have to take our art seriously because they're constantly trying to kind of like, I feel like they're almost trying to prove something. And so I expected it out of the poet, out of Robert Pinsky, and boy, he got into it. And I don't know the other woman.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I wasn't very impressed. It was actually very interesting because she went last. And I thought that after two such powerful speeches by two very prominent men who I knew of beforehand, I thought that was really interesting, and I also thought that it kind of upset me, I guess, that the only woman on the panel, her speech wasn't very powerful.
Well, and then the economics woman got up there and she spoke, and that was interesting.
Again, removed. Again, not. She's like, this is what I can tell you. And it's like, okay, but how how is what you're telling us? I want you to apply it more, almost. I wanted her to kind of take that extra step, but I don't think she felt comfortable doing that.
Right.
So.
And it was nice to hear from Brian to get a student up there.
Yeah.
So. Way to represent.
Okay. So yeah, I personally I was glad that I was there. I really liked it.
Me too.
It was interesting because the same faces that I assumed would be there from our classmates were there, which I guess is not a surprise. I'd be interested to see what happens at the Rose on Monday with the event that's going on there, Museum and the Education.
I really want to go to that, but my class is during the time in the Rose Museum, but that's not a conversation for this video. So, James, anything to add?
No, I think he's good. See, he's cool. Look at that. All right, cool. Thanks, bye. Later.